Before I was in outside sales, and so I traveled throughout the state and visited a lot of different coffee shops. I asked a lot of questions and was thinking about opening a coffee shop originally. One of the coffee shop owners that I was talking to suggested working the back end of the business and roasting. And so I bought a home roaster, bought some raw beans off the internet, and started with that, and from there blossomed into what we have today.
When I started here, I didn't know anything about coffee. I mean, I walked in, Craig was the only person here when I came in, so I got myself a cup of coffee and I went to go put cream in it and he immediately scolded me.
So I was a barista for about 8 years at various coffee shops, and after doing that for so long, I kind of wanted to get into the back end of the business and see what went into making coffee. I knew that it started as a green bean, but I didn't know how it got to being roasted or what went into it. So I wanted to kind of learn the whole process.
The Saturday experience is a chance for the public to come into the roastery and to see the operation. And what we do, which is pretty unique, is we allow the customers to pick any of our beans raw, and we cook them to order while they wait. And so this gives the customers a unique experience and give them a chance to try maybe some coffees they've never had before.
I love the taste. Caffeine does nothing for me. I can drink a pot of coffee and go to sleep. For me, it's all about the flavor. And the food, the beer, and the coffee culture in this town is phenomenal.
I grind the beans. I like the fresh whole beans. Nothing in it. I don't like sugar, nothing. I like whipped cream. I brought my own today.
I just like the experience around coffee, just the kind of relaxing and just being with people.
I like the smell. Nothing like a fresh brewed cup of coffee, freshly brewed.
We don't do
right.
Folgers, none of those.
No, we do the
real
whole
deal.
bean, the good stuff. We do the good stuff now.
And I'll seek out the best. I'll make the extra trip. I'll find what's good, and I love local businesses too, so that's another reason to come here.
So we set the beans up here, the raw beans. We have to wait till the temperature gets up to 420. Go ahead and drop them in. All coffee goes through 2 sets of cracks. The first crack happens around 380, 390 degrees. That's when the outer layer of skin comes off the bean. And then the second crack happens at around 420 to 430 degrees. And that's when the bean is actually becoming coffee. Here we like to compare it to a steak. So a darker roast is more like a well-done steak. The outside is cooked a little crisper. You don't get as much flavor, whereas in the medium roast, it will hold on more of the bean's innate flavor. You also have more caffeine because you're not cooking that out of it. We try to keep it at a nice steady pace. You don't want the beans to cook too fast or too hot. That'll cause them to be burnt on the outside and not cooked all the way through. Once they get up to the roast that we want them roasted to, we open this. This is the cooling tray. It spins them around and it pulls air from the room and over the beans to cool them down. So coming out at like 400 something degrees.
This is perfect.
He doesn't talk about my coffee that way. Good to the last drop.
Maxwell House is always good. Try some yourself.
Thanks.
Well, there's 2 different types of coffee, the robusta bean and the Arabica bean. So anything that's in a can, the canned coffee drinkers, the Maxwell Houses and those types of products is the robusta plant. And then the Arabica plant is what we roast here. And the main difference in those two is that the Arabica tree produces more sugars and has less caffeine, and so it tends to be a better cup of coffee. The robusta plant then is just the opposite. It has more caffeine, but it has less flavor, so it tends to be more bitter. The wall of shame is our trade up to better tasting coffee wall over there, over my shoulder. And what we do is we ask customers to bring in a coffee cup from a competitor, and then what we do is we exchange that with one of our full color logo mugs in exchange for that. And then we hang it upside down from the rafters as a sort of a fun little joke.
For the Saturday experience, we have a lot of rules that are kind of fun for when you come in. And one of the favorite ones is to not use the F word, which basically just means don't use the word Folgers, because it's a canned coffee and we don't like canned coffee.
The mannequins came from Blue Turtle Books downstairs. He was not using them, so I bought some t-shirts for the company and the coffee crew, and we decided to put the t-shirts on the mannequins, and then once we did that, now it's been kind of a joke.
Sometimes, this is so awkward to explain. We will just put them in random places around the shop, like hidden behind a corner or something. The mannequins are just creepy no matter what. So when you're not expecting it and you walk in and open a door or whatever and it's just there, it's scary.
We get a lot of younger people that come in, and of course when you're younger, most of them are college students. Their main beverage of choice of coffee is caffeine. How much caffeine can I consume? And so I was there once, I can appreciate that, but after we teach them what we do at the Saturday experience and get them looking for flavor instead of just caffeine, they usually convert over to a better quality coffee because they enjoy the drink more.
I actually have a customer that followed me from another coffee shop over here, and she was a huge fan of cappuccinos. Like, she loved steamed milk and would drink cream and sugar in her coffee, and she's come to visit us I think 2 times now, and she told me that she no longer drinks her coffee with cream in it, and she used to drink dark roast coffee when she did, and now she's moved over to medium. So just within 2 or 3 visits, her taste has changed incredibly.
Before I found this coffee place, I thought it was good as a dessert because I could never drink it without putting in all sorts of stuff in it. It was just too bitter and strong and harsh. But then we came here and the bitter's not there.
So I started drinking coffee when I was 10 to impress the girls. Because, only adults like coffee. I started experimenting with Folgers in Maxwell's house because that's coffee. Now I love it for so many more things.
So many times you'll find today the focus is more on quantity at the sacrifice of something, and that's usually quality. If you're going to push out volume of a product, there has to be a sacrifice. And as I said, that sacrifice is usually quality of the product.
One of our advantages of being the small roaster is that we can buy better beans than the big guys. The culture, I think, in Grand Rapids is changing, and there is a better appreciation, and I think the beers and the breweries around town are helping that too. The goal is to educate the customers, the average consumer, about why we do what we do, and to get them to think about not drinking coffee out of a can, and to getting to better quality coffee.